is sponsored by Big Man Big Heart, a nonprofit founded.
Who did your voiceover?
That's Delaney.
Nice. I figured it was one of your sisters.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was surprised. I was surprised by her narration voice.
She might have a future in it.
She's done a couple of them, and she actually has a viral TikTok account based off her paintings. So for a lot of those paintings by Delaney, a couple million, whatever, on TikTok.
Oh, she
does an incredible job though.
Oh wait, yeah, I sent you your YouTube. That's what you wanted, right? Okay. Yeah, you wanted that. I can't remember what I sent you. It's that, and then we both tweet it.
I got you.
It's like I haven't been here before. Get those little Twitter fingers going.
I'm trying my best, man. Got anything excited planned for the weekend?
Yeah, I'm gonna go hang out and watch Florida State Miami game.
That's not too shabby.
I mean, I was just talking to my fiance, and we were talking about maybe doing something, and I was like, "Yeah, let's live it up during the day because Florida State plays at night."
Yeah,
she doesn't usually get a lot of my time on Saturdays, as you can imagine. But there's some good games this weekend, though.
Mm-hmm.
Can you believe? I mean, this is the first time in your lifetime Tennessee is ranked number 1.
That's crazy, right? I remember back in, what was it? Probably like 2014, 2013 when Riley got his first offer from Tennessee.
Yeah, Darren Hinshaw.
Yep, I remember going there. I remember visiting. I remember every little minute detail, all the way down to the canned Gatorade they gave us on the visit. But I don't remember them playing very much good football back then. But yeah, that was an incredible first offer, especially for a tight end.
Was Derek Dooley the head coach when your brother was offered?
I was too little of a kid.
I think it was. And the assistant coach was the quarterback coach named Darren Hinshaw, and Hinshaw was a former quarterback at UCF, so they gave him the, most of Florida. And I remember he was recruiting your brother really hard. This kid Zach DeBell, who went to Tarpon Springs. He ended up going to Georgia. Zach DeBell.
He was recruiting Ryan Green real hard too.
Ryan Green.
Oh yeah. That was a trip. That was a trip. We took a swing up north with Riley and Ryan. Went by Notre Dame, went by a few different schools, and our last stop was Tennessee.
Yeah,
that was pretty cool though.
It is pretty cool.
Yeah, that was Ryan. That was Ryan's going into his senior year, so his junior year, whenever that was.
2011.
Yeah, around there. Time flies, right?
It does, but that's how crazy it is. Like that, I've known your dad. Well, I've known your dad since then, but it doesn't. It feels like I've known your dad for like 3 or 4 years at
Yeah,
most. It's been like 10 or 11 years.
it's a little weird.
Yeah, time. It's just it goes.
What happened to Lyndon Ostrander?
He was a. I'll watch what I say because we're live. The last I had heard, he ended up with Max Preps in some role, and
Okay.
I'm not sure, but he
Okay.
kind of moved off of like writing recruiting updates, I think, and was doing. I mean, Max Preps is recruiting and stuff, but not at that.
Yeah. Yeah, he
kind
was
of
a big
little bit different.
he was a big name in our area, at least when my recruiting first started. But yeah, I tried to find him the other day. I couldn't find him.
He interned with me at I think I was at Bowls 247. I was doing some stuff there, and he was a scrappy little thing.
Mm-hmm.
Give him that.
I remember. I'm sure I gave him a bunch of really good interviews back in my sophomore, freshman year of high school.
Yeah. All right. Before we get started, I'm hungry. So tell me, what's your order today at
Too many
Pies?
Too many pizzas. I don't remember the exact order is, but it's around the lines of 4 buffalo chicken pizzas, like 3 or 4 barbecue chicken pizzas, a couple meat lovers. I think there's 2 to 4 of each type of pizza, pepperoni, cheese, and then 1 veggie pizza. Yeah, it's a lot of pies.
I feel like right now I could knock down like 2 of those. I know I'm full of it by saying that, but I feel like I could.
Yeah, I can eat. I could eat a good amount of pizza. It just depends on the temperature and depends where I am and what I'm doing. It's hard for me to sit across from somebody and eat a whole pizza. But if I'm at home on that couch behind me or on my recliner,
TV in front of you.
No question.
One of the things about living in Nashville is there's not a lot of buffalo chicken pizza. It's Nashville hot pizza. Like they do the hot chicken.
Yeah.
Instead of the buffalo.
I haven't had it, but
almost everybody has it on the menu if they serve pizza.
Not a huge fan of the Nashville hot chicken.
I don't run to it, but
No.
I like it because most of the Nashville hot chicken is one, I like spicy food, but I like the way that it's fried. It's fried in very like a thin crust instead of like the Southern fried chicken where it could be like, a fry ball this big and then the chicken's like in the middle of it. So it's a real like, close fry. I don't know what you would call that, but I like it.
I get that. There's definitely something to be appreciated about it, but definitely for me, it's always been something going to Nashville, get the chicken, get out. It's not something I'm gonna stay in town for.
Yeah, no, it's not like me and the fiance on a Friday night are waiting in that line for fried chicken. I think it's definitely more of a tourist thing, but sometimes you're just running errands and stuff and you're like, yeah, I'll stop at Hattie B's and grab some Nashville hot.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah. All right, let's get this thing going. We got to get you to family meal with the fellas.
Yeah, pizza night.
All right, here we go. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Big Man, Big Heart with Dillan Gibbons. I am your host, Josh Newberg. We're here for episode 35, coming to you on a Thursday afternoon. It's afternoon here, early evening where Dillan's at. We're back, and it is a big game this week, Dillan. How's the team feeling? How are you feeling, first and foremost?
I'm feeling pretty good, pretty rejuvenated. Let me tell you, a nice victory in your belt like that'll do something for a guy like me. I mean, like my body feels great. Mentally, I'm in a really good place. Come to realization that we don't really have a lot more football to play. I think a lot of guys have come to that realization. The seasons like this, they fly by, man. Let me tell you, I still feel like we were just talking about high school football and way back in the day, back in 2010, 2011. I still feel like that little kid going on that visit with my brother back to Tennessee back in the day. But yeah, it's absolutely crazy to see how fast this whole process has gone. Again, I only 4 or 5 potentially more games my college career, and I definitely have a nice wind underneath me, pushing me forward, and my body's feeling great. Mentally, I'm doing great, and as a team, we're in the best place we've been all season.
What's the mood like on a rivalry week?
You see, Coach Norvell's process isn't really outcome based. We don't really care who we're going to play. I really don't care much about what the outcome is at the end of the day. Coming off a game like what we did last week, right? Having a dominating performance, being able to get a few different groups of guys in there, especially the offensive line position. I mean, in a normal place, you'd take that, right, and basically, coach the team off a win, right? But Coach Norvell doesn't do that. There's not really an ebb and flow. It's the same consistent coaching week in, week out. Of course, these are one of the games that we talk about in the beginning of the season, right? When we're in camp, talking about some of the most important games of our season, things that are deeply rooted here at Florida State. The process has been the same, the attitude's been the same, and the approach has been the same. Just a little bit more strenuous on the hours outside of the football facility, right? Guys watching more film, guys going into treatment for a few extra hours a day. Guys, making sure they're at their prime physically, mentally, and even spiritually in some cases before we head into this week and drive down there to Coral Gables.
Yeah, I know Coach Norvell approaches it the same every week, but you got guys in that locker room that played at Miami Central High School that know the players at Miami. Like, I'm not saying that Mike Norvell should treat it any differently, but like, is the mood, is the tone, is there a chip on people's shoulders this week? Like, is there a sense that you are traveling down to Miami to play your rival?
Yeah. So when I was up in Notre Dame, I really didn't get to experience a game like this. Of course, we had our big time rivalry games, but there wasn't anything that touched home quite as much as this game does. I mean, my brother was committed to Miami for about 2 years. Right. He ended up decommitting, going to Stanford, and he had a few death threats just tossed along once he left. So of course, I've always had that in the back of my head, especially coming here to Florida State and having a great performance last year against Miami and showing them what Florida State football was made of last year. So going into this game, we're hoping to do the same. I mean, there's a lot of guys, they're very spirited, just like last year, just like every year. But it's pretty interesting to witness, at least some motivations. Of course, we're just trying to make sure our teammates and people on my team and the offensive line particularly aren't getting too high, aren't getting too low. And again, just like I said, with Coach Norvell, enforcing that, not having an outcome based how we're going to perform or how we're going to react in certain situations. And putting guys in positions that we might be in the game. They've done a great job throughout the week, and they've done a great job since they got here to Florida State. So what I'll say is that's all that all those little things, the way that Coach Norvell, conducts himself on a day in, day out basis, week in, week out basis, has prepared our team to lock into the moment and not take it as personal. Something Coach Atkins brought up is who do you want to pick for a fight? Yeah, like if you're there's two different people in fights usually. There's one guy, he's a hothead. He's coming out swinging early. He's throwing haymakers. And there's a guy who's standing back there, and he's going to take one distinct jab right in that guy's face. He's going to knock him cold on his butt. And I don't want to be that hothead guy. I don't want any of my teammates to be that hothead guy that's running into a bar, throwing haymakers, whatever it might be. I want them to be controlled. I want them to understand where this process has brought us, and I want them to see what the light at the end of the tunnel is, which is
no wasted energy,
kicking Miami's butt, and moving on to the next team.
Makes sense. I was just thinking, you're talking about Mike Norvell's process, and you seem to have a really good grasp on Norvell's vision for this program and all that. But it made me think back to when we started the podcast. We started like 2 months into your time in Tallahassee, and you were just playing catch up, hit the ground running, but you were just trying to soak it all in and just figure everything out as quickly as possible. So now that you've been through one of these cycles and a half, really, how do you feel about, the process of Mike Norvell and what stands out to you?
Yeah, at least within a position group, within the locker room, it's been very interesting to see at least where responsibility's been placed. When I first got here, a lot of the coaches were kind of quasi-policing, quasi-father figures in different ways, really just trying to break down what was already in place of a culture, right? Whether that took, getting rid of some guys that, were, cancerous to the team, guys that were in distinct positions of leadership that weren't, living up to the standard that was in place here at Florida State or the standard they wanted to create. So once that standard was in place, once we had some guys buying in, especially in leadership positions like Jordan Travis and, other distinct guys that have been here throughout the last 2 years that I've been here, people started to see what the right way was. Right. And everybody else was held to that standard, first by the coaches and now within the group. So of course, there are like individual punishments for every, every blue moon, someone misses an assignment or, someone's late to a class or, late to a lift or a meeting. But for the most part, everything is punished by the team, right? Everything's done together collectively. And that has helped, not only shape what our team looks like on the field, but also in the locker room on a day-to-day basis. Building that trust from within, just letting everybody know around me that I have their back and they have my back is a refreshing feeling. You're not just competing against a guy to go out there and, get your 10 minutes on national TV every week. You're working with a person. I'm working with Fabian Lovett. I'm working with Robert Cooper to be the best football player I can possibly be. It's not just some, day in, day out competition. It's a living, breathing culture that Mike Norvell has formed. And one that, of course, needs adjustments every once in a while, like everyone's does, but something that has been consistent since I've been here. And like I said, just having someone at the forefront, Mike Norvell, he's consistent day in, day out. And that's who he hires for his staff. Coach Atkins, same guy every day. He treats us the way that I hope I could treat my kids someday. He has that element of compassion, but he also, is very, controlled in what he says, trying to get the most out of us possible while we have this very limited time in our lives to go out there and reap the benefits from football and win more football games and hopefully make it to the NFL.
That's interesting. You seem like you've really bought in, really since you hit the ground running. So it's cool to hear it all.
It'd be very tough for someone to come in here and not buy in because it's a way of life. It's just understanding.
Sink or swim.
It's understanding where you're at and understanding, you're not that big. Like it doesn't matter how good of a recruit that's coming in here, how good of a graduate transfer is that's coming into this program. If you do not, grab this culture and, try to get everything you possibly can out of it, every resource from across the board, then you will not have success at Florida State.
Yeah. And one of those players that's like an epitome of the culture at FSU is Trayshawn Ward. Mm-hmm. Ward is back this week. What do you like about Trayshawn?
I mean, we have some incredible backs. And of course, I could speak to each of them what I like the most, but I will say just being a vocal leader. He does an incredible job bringing that group together, meshing the whole offense together. And when I see him, when I see any of our backs in the game, I understand that they understand what they need to do, right? There's never going to be a mistake made. There's never going to be, a question of does this person, are they living up to the standard of their room? Like Trayshawn Ward setting the standard. He does an incredible job at week in, week out. And I can't say enough good things about that room and how we all mesh together, the quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, and offensive line.
Yeah, it's really cool to see him back. And you guys have the three-headed monster. I mean, there really is no picking favorites because all three guys are productive. All three guys bring different things to the table. And all three are more effective when all three are healthy and able to go. So having Trayshawn back for this game, I think is big for the other two as well. I mean,
yeah. And of course, also having Jordan Travis and a wonderful receiving group that does an incredible job game in, game out. That adds to the monster that is our offense. So as long as we do our job up front this week, I think we'll have incredible success.
Yeah, because if they're running the ball, like you guys can run the ball with that three-headed monster, then you start getting the DBs creeping up, and then you got to deal with Johnny Wilson one-on-one on the outside or Micah Pittman one-on-one on the outside. And so everything, you're right, everything does kind of start with the run game and go from there. And you guys have a bunch of dynamic weapons on offense this year, and it's been fun to watch. Tell me more about Big Man, Big Heart. I know last time we were talking, you kind of recapped everything that you guys did with Hurricane Ian. So tell us what the latest is.
Yeah, so we just put out a couple of different videos, kind of following us around what we did during our experience down there in Fort Myers. After we raised a significant amount of money for the folks down there, help offset some of the financial burden that's been present down there. The continuation of the process is the most important part, right? We didn't just start one GoFundMe to help people out. We're going to try to get as much publicity as we can around these videos, everything else we're doing through Big Man, Big Heart, so we can help more people. And it is a very exciting process. So what we're doing right now is we're kind of in a process of planning some other events, some other things to go on down there in Fort Myers, and also looking forward towards the end of the season, hopefully being able to set up another event for the local community here in Tallahassee to go shopping with a player. We have some very interesting things going on right now with Big Man, Big Heart. But yeah, it's again, it's absolutely crazy to see the impact that we've been able to make so far. I can't thank the Florida State fans and everybody that's following, this podcast, this YouTube series, enough for supporting Big Man Big Heart, and just really trying to help people and seeing the best out of college football and seeing the best out of humanity.
Yeah, it's really cool. You guys doing anything else now that the season's kind of wrapping up and Thanksgiving's coming up?
Yeah, me personally, or with Big Man Big Heart?
Big Man Big Heart, you guys.
Yeah, we're kind of in a stage of planning right now. Just trying to figure out what is important now and how we can help most. Because I can't be down there in Fort Myers until at least we get till game prep of the bowl game. But yeah, it's again just trying to get as many of the pieces of the puzzle intact before we move on to our next charitable initiative.
Awesome, man. Well, if you guys out there watching and listening want to contribute or just know what's going on, go check out bigmanbigheart.com. Everything's laid out real nicely there. All the GoFundMe's and everything that Dillan's trying to accomplish is right there, bigmanbigheart.com. All right, Dillan, shout out to Gain Street Pies. They're about to get destroyed.
Yes, they are. I feel bad. But yeah, the whole offensive line will be there. It's always wonderful. We go there around 7:00 every Thursday, a home or away game. So I can't thank them enough for supporting me, for supporting Big Man Big Heart, and for supporting the offensive line here at Florida State. Also can't thank Jorgensen Gibbons enough. My mom, she's an attorney. Lynn Gibbons, she does an absolutely awesome job. They do workers' compensation, personal injury, and Social Security disability. And I can't thank them enough for everything they've done for my life, for my mom, for my family. It is really a family practice. My oldest sister, Katie's an attorney there. My older brother, Riley, is an attorney there. And my twin sister will soon be an attorney there. She's actually graduating from law school here pretty soon. So they do an incredible job. If you need that personal touch, if you need an attorney, please call Jorgensen Gibbons Law and ask for Lynn or Riley or Delaney or Katie, whoever exactly meets your specifications. I also can't thank Good Sam enough. They're doing a great job in supporting Big Man Big Heart. Again, I can't thank you enough for putting up with this podcast, and everybody listening today. If you have any questions, please just shoot them my DMs, shoot them on the tweets we put out. Absolutely would love to answer some questions or get to something or whatever exactly you guys need.
All right, Dillan, good luck this weekend. We'll all be watching. Go Noles.
Go Noles.